phenomenal day. If not, do understand it is going to get better once your perception gets better. Honey, let me tell you this, okay? Other people's opinion of you, it really is none of your damn business, okay? You cannot change other people's opinion. You shouldn't even care to even have that idea come across your mind. Also, what you have to understand is what's important is how you view you. Okay, what's important is you knowing you. Okay, so I remember when I was like my teenage years, right? This lady, she had custody of me. Well, actually, it was my brother and sister from my father's side. Their mother had custody of me, and I remember um so at that time I was getting social security checks from my father because him working and stuff like that, and it's survivor benefits. And I remember I had called social security. I had me and a good friend of mine called social security to see how much money I was getting and to see how much money was being spent, right? So my from the amount that I was getting, right? My brother and sister mother, she would give me like $20 a week for allowance, right? And when I called Social Security, basically they told me I was getting, I believe at that time, $655, right? So I was like, I get $80 a month. Like, where's the rest of the money? And I'll never forget when I had called Social Security and I was talking to the agent, to the lady. She basically was like, the lady who works for Social Security. She basically was like, yeah, but because I was telling her, I was like, oh, I only get $80, a month, whatever it is, like from that money. And the lady was basically saying, like, yeah, but it costs for food and all these different things. So my brother and sister mother, she and her husband had got custody of me because I had nowhere else to go. Right after I did the program, I was in this program for about 16 to 18 months. I told you guys from me selling drugs and basically getting into trouble when I was about 12 years old and then breaking my probation. And then my father had passed away when I was in the youth house. So the state basically came in and took over and was like that I needed to go to all girls home, well, go to a program. And so the program was the all girls program. And if it wasn't for my brother and sister mother coming to get custody of me, then I probably would have stayed in the system until I was probably like 18 years old, right? So anywho, I had called the Social Security, and then my brother and sister mother had found out. And when she found out, she was livid. She was like, everybody want to, be the boss, but don't want to pay the cost. And basically what she was saying was because it was her and her husband that was going back and forth, doing the paperwork for them to get custody of me, doing the drug testing, like doing all these different things, for them to get custody of me. And what I'm realizing is, even back then, like that lesson, right? Everybody want to be the boss, but they don't want to pay the cost, right? I'm understanding that now in my life, right? That sometimes, first of all, you always have to do what works for you. Okay, always have to do what works for you. Honey, this is some herbal tea. Okay. You always have to do what works for you. You have to understand that at times you are going to have to go against go against everyone for yourself. Right? And when I say go against everyone for yourself, you're gonna have to choose you. Okay. Stop choosing other people more than you out of fear of, oh, what they gonna say, or out of fear of they may not like you, or out of fear of, they may talk about you. Listen, who gives a fuck? Okay? Don't allow that to stop you from doing what's best for you and what works for you. Because as long as you are afraid to do certain things because you like, you have all these different ideas in your head, the chatter in your mind, and all these different things. You got to understand this is your life. Okay? Although everybody may have an opinion, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, okay, This is your life. Okay. And you do what works for you, not what works for someone else. Okay. So you could be liked. So you could be, quote unquote, a nice person. No, do what works for you. And let me tell you something. You are going to piss some people off. Okay. That's what comes with it. Okay. When you're doing what works for you, you're going to piss some people off and be okay with it. You also are going to, you're going to piss people off. You may have to even walk alone by yourself and be okay with that. Because in my understanding and what I understand and know to be true is this. Each and every time I have chosen me, each and every time that I rocked out to Dina, okay, the universe is always going to send somebody or send something that is going to replace that thing, whether it's money or whatever, is always going to make sure you good. And you know what? Okay, let me say this. You are the universe. Okay, you are the universe. Everything is based upon perception. Okay, so if you're walking around and you like, oh girl, I can't, I could never tell them exactly how I feel, because if I tell them, oh girl, they may not want to hang with me. Well, that's why you got to start hanging by yourself. That's why you got to start getting comfortable with being by yourself. That's why you have to get to know thyself. Because once you get to know thyself, honey, you don't give a damn if they hang with you, be with you, like you. Okay, you don't care. Because either which way, honey, you already comfortable with being by yourself. So you're not looking for people. What happened? You put the... All right, did you put the Reynolds wrap in the garbage?
What?
The Reynolds, where the burger was on. Did you put it in the garbage? All right, when you finish, put it in the garbage. Pull the door to duty. You're not gonna worry about. I remember once upon a time, right? I was in this relationship, and it was certain things that I would not do, because I felt like if I did those things, the guy who I was in a relationship with at the time, I felt like his family would be upset with me. And I wanted to be liked. Okay. And so so basically what I would do was I would choose his family or choose him over myself. Right. And you know why sometimes you don't feel good, right? Or sometimes you may go through depression, is because the role, and I have said this time and time again, the role that you are playing is not conducive to your spirit, right? Your spirit is like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you playing this role of nice or being liked, or you want to be liked, or all these different things. And let me tell you something. It's nothing wrong with you wanting to be liked, but to the point where as though you go against yourself for other people to like you, then that's an issue. Because that means that you are more so concerned about somebody else liking you as opposed of you liking your damn self. Okay. And so I would do stuff like, I wouldn't say certain things in front of his family. Like, say if it was something that I didn't probably agree with, like maybe he did something, I wouldn't say certain things in front of his family, because I was like, they may not like me, right? Until I started understanding, let me tell you something, Dina, it ain't if they like you. It is if you like you. And if you like you, you are going to attract other people that like themselves, as though they can appreciate you. And so I had to get this lesson. It was, I had to get this and understand this. Okay. It is not if they like you or if they want to be friends with you. Okay. It is if you like you. And once you like you, honey, you don't give a damn who don't like you, because them not liking you has nothing to do with you. Okay? Let me say it again. Them not liking you has absolutely, positively nothing to do with you. Even their opinions of you has nothing to do with you. It's how you see yourself. Is the opinion of yourself. Is what you think of you. And half of the time what you gotta understand that some people ain't even thinking. So they may have a lot of opinions, a lot of things to say, but they own lives may be chaotic. Let me take a sip of the tea for this one. They own lives may be chaotic. And so while you trying to see, and I remember this another thing I used to do. This was another thing I used to do. I would call people, right? Because I wanted people on my side. So I would call people to see if what I was doing was right. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would call people, even today. I was gonna call somebody and I was gonna say, girl, you think what I did was right? But I had heard this voice, okay? This voice of my higher self say, girl, you better go meditate, okay? You better go meditate. You know why you do certain things, okay? And you have to be okay with standing on your own. You have to be okay with that. Everybody is not going to get it. Everybody is not going to understand it. Okay? And everybody ain't gonna like you. You only need one person to like you. One. One person to like you, honey, boo boo, and that's you. Okay, that's it. That's all you need. One person. Okay. All right. And so with that being said, I hope you guys got something from this video. Okay. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Right. At first I was gonna go live, but I was like, nah, let me go live. Okay, I got something to say. Okay. But with that being said, make sure you're rocking out, believing in yourself. Make sure you are loving you, accepting you, okay, getting to know you, right? And always do what works for you. Always do what works for you. Okay. You know, that is one of the things that took me some time to get, and the universe was just kept on giving me the same exact lessons. And I was so, let me tell you something. I was so sick and tired of that. I was so sick and tired of getting the same exact lessons over and over and over again that I said, you know what? Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And, you know, sometimes I could be more firm on my boundaries. But the truth of the matter is, I'm proud because at least I start setting them, right? At least I start setting the boundaries. And at least I'm incorporating them. Now they could be, you know, a little stern, right? Well, a little firm. But I'm proud of myself because once upon a time I went and had boundaries because I just felt like other people, you know, it was what they wanted, right? Like, you know, be afraid to speak up because people ain't gonna like me, or they gonna have something to say about me. They gonna have like a little committee, right? And to gossip about me and all these different things. Until what I started realizing is, you know, it's not bad being by yourself, right? It's not bad for you to get to know yourself and hang with yourself and stuff like that, as opposed of you being with so many people but you going against yourself. You know, so you have to choose, you know, what works for you. Is always what works for you, not what works for someone else. Is always what worked for you. I remember this, the last thing. I remember I had a good friend of mine, and me and her was talking, and it was about relationships. And one of the things I said to her, I said, you know, that relationship you in, it doesn't matter, you know, what somebody on the outside looking in may say. What matters is how you feel about being in that relationship, because nobody else is in that relationship but you. Nobody else is experiencing those things but you. And if you are okay with it, then the outside doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. Nobody else's opinion freaking matters because at the end of the day, they're not in it. You are, right? And so get that too. Understand it. It's not about what they say. It's about what you say because you the one that's dealing with it. You the one that's going through it and growing through it. Okay? So do what works for you. And with that being said, I love you guys. Peace.